Ja, herzlich willkommen zur neuen Ausgabe des E-Talk und heute habe ich eine ganz neue Story. Ich kenne die Firma eigentlich nicht wirklich, ich weiß nur zwei Dinge. Es geht um Kupfer, es geht auch um BC Kupfer ist ja einer der großen Metalle, die eigentlich von der Energiewende eigentlich stark betroffen sind, also auch Batterienmetalle, also die ganze Infrastruktur, die wir brauchen, ist eigentlich mit Kupfer verbunden und da sind natürlich Kupferunternehmen natürlich sehr interessant. Ich habe da jetzt quasi ein neues Unternehmen, das noch ganz jung ist, die eigentlich nur auf der Suche ist von den Projekten ja, ich werde es euch jetzt einmal kurz vorstellen, beziehungsweise das mache nicht ich, sondern das macht der Doug. Der ist Your CEO and President oder CEO?
Yeah, CEO and President.
And President. CEO and President von Geologica.
Yes, Geologica.
Geologica Resources. Die sind auch in Deutschland notiert. Die WKN steht wie immer im Text. Doug, thank you for your time. And I said in my German introduction that you are brand new for me.
Okay.
I know you are looking for copper.
Yep.
You're looking for copper in BC.
Yep.
Copper is a very interesting commodity, especially in this energy conversion phase, what we are, especially in Europe, you need for the infrastructure copper.
Exactly.
There was some comments from the CEO for Freeport McMoran that he said we have now 10 years of shortage in copper coming up, and he sees prices I think 3 times from now, and it's really tough. It's really tough that new mines coming online about this development thing and so on. So the permitting thing that
right.
is made takes much longer. So and this is why the shortage takes so long. Do you think that really takes so long?
Yeah, I think there's a number of roadblocks in the way to bringing a new mine online that I think that both provincial in BC and the federal government in Canada are looking to address. I mean, the federal government has instilled this new critical metals strategy where they're providing extra tax credits if you're copper, nickel, lithium, kind of all of those metals that are required for the electrification and to meet the carbon goals that have been set out that everybody's trying to meet. And I think there's recognition that process needs to be sped up, and I think that all of the stakeholders are beginning to realize that, and I think that hopefully that sort of 8-10 year time frame can get shrunk back a little bit, even at the beginning of exploration, speeding up that permit process.
But when you generally look at the market, and I see the market are really not really in a good shape, especially in the resource sector. When you look at that, and this has nothing to do with copper, but when you look at gold. Gold was always the leader in the resource business, and when gold is running, all the people looking then to other commodities too. But gold is close to 2,000, but on the stock market, or especially by gold stock, they are moving, yes, and they are going up, but they are far away from the top. So sometimes it's a little bit frustrating that everybody is screaming for resource. Everybody says we need this.
Yeah.
But on the market, you see no really reaction on it, and you see not also money flowing in and so on. That's a little bit strange.
I think it's really surprising, given the war in Ukraine and other issues, that gold was kind of the safe place to go in these situations, and that hasn't happened. The U.S. dollar has managed to stay very strong, which is surprising, except for the high interest rates that you can get by taking money down there. And that's a real been a real tailwind on gold. And like you say, once gold starts to move, the other commodities start to move. Situation in copper with electrification currently we are producing more copper than we can use on an annual basis. And that's probably going to go through this next year, according to people like Freeport or Goldman Sachs, a number of reports that are out there. 2024, we're going to be in the opposite situation where we're going to be in a deficit of copper, which again is going to lead to higher prices. And I think you're right. I think it's going to be, it's a good 10-year time frame to do that. And, for us who are just getting into an exploration play, I think it's a good time. It's tough to raise money right now because of the price of the commodity. But we're going to be in the right place to have had drill results, to be able to put a mineral resource estimate in place kind of when that shortage starts to go, and the value of our resource and then the value of the company is going to start to move. I mean, I think that'll get recognized in the market at the time, even though it isn't now.
Okay, so that's mean you run a project in BC.
Yeah.
So the plan is now to make exploration there, do the homework that you can come up in 2 years with a resource, and then you come in the right time when the copper price hopefully moving much stronger.
Right.
Everybody have a focus on the copper price. Money flows in also from outside, and the resource market itself from the whole investment market is really a fraction only.
Especially here. We're I think mining companies are something like 60 or 70% of the TSX here, where we have 10% of the population of the U.S., where mining companies are only 10% of the market there. We really need to. You have to have exposure in the U.S. You need that bigger exposure for getting your stock to move, because, like you say, we're on the very thin edge of the wedge here in Canada.
So, but coming to the project, so what is really the beauty on the project? Why you take it, and what do you want to do?
Yeah, so when we decided to get into the mining and in the copper space specifically, we sort of looked at the infrastructure. It doesn't matter if there's new battery technologies or whatever. Copper is going to be, we've got the U.S. You look at Texas, where their infrastructure collapsed. There's huge dollars coming out of the U.S. government to replace that. Here we've got our Site C dam and the number of EVs that are coming on place. So we decided copper was where we wanted to be as opposed to other minerals. And BC, we have porphyry copper. There's lots of it around. It's a matter of finding the economic deposit. And so we went to work with a couple of geologists and discovered a property we could option in central BC. And the geologists kind of like the area play that we were in there, and that we were on trend from two past producing mines, the Grand Isle and the Bell mine, which were copper gold producers. And so we optioned that property, and we got that at a good rate, we think, and started to do what's called spatial geochemical hydrocarbons, SGH. I think you can look at Great Bear, Kodiak, a number of companies that have used that for early exploration. And we've done surveys over about 3 years on the property, and have now focused down on kind of the southwestern corner of the property, and that we had copper anomalies overlaid by a gold anomaly, which is in a big volcanic massive sulfide zone. So that's where we're excited on the property there, the results that we've got. And then when we overlay the aerial magnetics that were done in the past, then we can see exactly that the anomalies that we want to look at are right between the two faults that are identified by that. So that's really got the geologists excited about it. So our next step is to do some induced polarization over that same area to define some drill targets, with the idea of doing some drilling hopefully by the end of the year, if we can get it all permitted.
You say permitting is permitting an issue?
Yeah, it's a time frame thing, right? So you have to go through the ministry, and you have consultation and consent with First Nations to go on there. So there's a number of stakeholders that you need to deal with to get permitting done. And you'll notice that pretty much every mining company, when they get a permit, they put out a news release because it's that important.
So that's mean now you do IP, or
Yes.
the plans are IP to definitely make a definition where you want to drill.
Yeah.
Then you go for to apply for this drilling,
Right.
and hopefully year end you drill.
Yeah, because the property is accessible year-round. There's a kind of a small paved highway that runs right through the middle of the property. And we also have BC Hydro, a big power line that runs through it. They used to feed the old mines. So as the mine went to develop, we have all the power that we need. So it ends up making it a very sustainable and ecologically friendly, area to work. We don't need a lot of diesel generators and all that kind of stuff. So it's a good spot going forward too.
Yeah, this was interesting when I remember me to PDEC that this green mining coming almost more important, that is really close to hydro power dam and not using too much diesel or for energy and so on. It's that the CO2 footprint is shrinking. So it's very interesting development. So also in the resource area.
No, it's very important. I mean, if you look at institutional investors in the U.S., their investors want to see sustainable ESG, low carbon reduction projects. That's the kind of stuff that they're interested in, and so it's by being in an area like that, it's going to reduce our cost of capital immensely by following those lines, and that's really the part of the bottom line for us.
So that's mean when you drill, and the drill is always called the truth machine.
Yeah.
So when you drill, then maybe and you coming up something that you really find something, then is this the big news?
That'll be the major catalyst. Yeah, because then we'll actually have some numbers coming from the lab to say how much copper or gold is there.
What can be, or what is really, when we say you're lucky, you find something, you drill something out and you have a discovery hole.
Yeah.
What is for you a discovery hole? What this must be, which size, or do you looking for certain number of copper, so percentage of copper, or you're looking for 100 meters, 200 meters length of drill? What you're looking for?
Yeah, percentages. I mean, if we could hit 1% in a porphyry type of thing like that would be massive. That'd be huge, right? So that would be a goal, to find something of that size. Right now, I couldn't even guess as to what might be there, And I think that not really. Off the top of my head, can't really think of sort of how many ounces that we would like to end up with, but we have a large enough piece of property. We have 3,500 hectares right now but there's nothing staked around quite close to us, and as I said, we're sort of trending that southwestern area to expand that property.
Then when we look in the past, when some companies have a discovery hole, like you say Kodiak and so on, and use the same, then you have always a huge run in the stock.
Yeah.
So if everything running fine and you're lucky, then maybe hopefully we see this has the potential, I would say, that you have maybe a discovery, and then
even right now, if we look at sort of comparables, I mean, we only have 25 million shares out. Only 13 million of those are actually deposited at trading accounts. Over half of that is owned by insiders, and we're trading, I think, 7 cents a share today, which is two and a half. Just over $1 million, something like that.
Yeah. So it's nothing. The market.
Yeah, where we could easily be a $5 million market cap on 25 million shares. 20 cents a share. Well before
before drilling is
before even the drilling results come out. It would be,
So with
more favorable market cap. So
Yeah.
I mean, haven't done a lot as far as any kind of promotion or anything like that. You know, we do some video interviews and we get those out and that type of thing. But that's really not our thing. And like you say, we'll let the drill tell the truth.
Yeah. So, but you are right. Then with this small market cap, and this is always a big question in my interviews: how many shares are outstanding, who are the owners of the shares, and so on. But you
I've got a step ahead of you.
answer this question already. So that's really the market cap is so low that when you're coming up with the news that you not make now the IP, they're coming up maybe with the permit and so on, and the deal with the First Nation and so on, that you're coming close to this 5 million valuation, and then the truth machine coming in, and then hopefully. Do you have any idea what you want to drill, if anything running fine, so that you get the permit and everything?
Yeah, well, the geologists have been talking about 5 holes, and we have about up to 40 meters of overburden over top of our...
that's not too much.
Yeah, which is why the SGH analysis was so good, because we had the right level of overburden to do that. So then, I think they're talking about... couple of thousand meters of drilling out of the 5 holes.
So you're going deeper then.
Yeah.
So like a porphyry is always deep.
Yeah. There's no sense in drilling shallow holes. That's what's been done in the past in the area, right? I mean, you say there was all these holes drilled in the 80s or whatever, but they barely touched the bedrock.
So there was old historical drilling.
More on the eastern side of the property, and it didn't turn out a lot, because that's where the outcrop was. That's where the easy drilling was. There's a couple of holes in the area that we're interested in. Hud Bay did a hole, and they ended up with what they thought was an epithermal deposit there, right, kind of around where we're working. So we don't really even we're assuming porphyry at this point, but maybe we have a volcanic massive sulfide or an epithermal. We're not really have that geological model yet until we do some drilling of our own and have some core that we can look at.
Do you have access to all this historical information, or is it
just what's in reports from that are on the BC government online? We don't have any old core or anything like that. The aerial magnetics that were done in the area, we have access to that data. That raw data. That's about it for the historical stuff.
So that's mean that's easy forward. So you make now the IP to definition for the in which area you want to drill, and then you coming up with the permitting, and hopefully end of the year you do you have enough money to do this all work?
We'll be doing a financing, so we've done a flow-through finance at the end of last year, which will support the IP work that we want to do. And then once we have that, then going through the permitting process, if that looks strong, then we do some more flow-through on that. Being copper, being a critical metal, we have very good returns just on the flow-through itself. I mean, and being where we are in Babine Lake, we get an additional 10% tax credit from the province. So in total, we're looking at 30-60% in tax credits for flow-throughs on our property. So it's makes it really reasonable to do the exploration there.
Good. Thank you for the first introduction to your company.
Thank you for taking the time and inviting me. I appreciate that.
And hopefully we have time when going forward that maybe you're coming up or we can do another one, follow up. And good luck also with the drilling. Then if you really hit and you're coming up with one, then we know exactly that.
So you got to buy some stock now to get to that 5 million, and then you'll have a good run afterwards.
That's right.
Exactly.
Ja, das war der erste Einführung in das Unternehmen. Es geht um Kupfer, das haben wir schon gesagt, es geht um BC. Wir haben sehr viel gesprochen, warum Kupfer interessant ist in der ganzen Entwicklung. Was auch spannend ist, habe ich nicht so auf dem Radar gehabt, ist, dass eigentlich Kupfer auch zu den kritischen Metallen zählt, wo Kanada sich auch wirklich daraufhin spezialisieren will. Also das heißt, dass Kanada wirklich dort auch Investments angezogen werden und dadurch gibt es auch Steueranreize. Also er hat jetzt auch zum Schluss gesagt, wenn Sie einen gewissen Level erreichen, kriegen Sie 10% extra Steueranreize. Deswegen sind diese Flow-Through-Aktien eigentlich sehr beliebt momentan, weil eben dort die Steueranreize dementsprechend sind. Was ist die Story? Also es ist ein altes Projekt, das zwischen zwei Minen liegt, wo auch alte Bohrungen oder verschiedene Companies auch Bohrungen gemacht hat. Er hat gesagt, zum Beispiel hat dort auch eine Bohrung gemacht, hat das allerdings definiert als ein Epithermal-Venensystem, und sie suchen eigentlich eher ein Porphyry-Type-System. Und es sind einfach zu wenige Bohrungen gemacht worden, weil die einfach nie zu tief gebohrt haben. Sie haben eine Magnetik gemacht, sie machen jetzt eine IP, um die Bohrziele zu definieren. Wenn dann die Bohrziele definiert sind, dann müssen sie natürlich die Permitting für diese Bohrziele machen. Sie wollen ein paar tausend Meter bohren in 5 Bohrlöcher, das heißt, sie gehen schon wirklich tief runter, das ist ganz wichtig, denn Porphyries gehen immer tief und erst dann kann wirklich das geologische Modell definiert werden. Was wirklich spannend ist, ist die Shareholder Structure. Es gibt, how many shares are outstanding at the moment?
A little under 25 million.
Ja. Also ein bisschen weniger als 25 Millionen sind draußen. Nur 13 Millionen, wenn ich mich richtig die Zahl erinnere, sind bei den Banken eingebucht. Das heißt eigentlich, da sind noch viele, die noch nicht bei den Banken eingebucht worden sind. Davon sind allerdings der Großteil bei Insidern gebucht und dadurch ist der Free Flow, ich meine, die Company notiert bei 7 Cent, das heißt, das haben wir jetzt gerade Marktkapitalisierung, glaube ich, von 1,5 Millionen, nicht ganz. Das ist sehr, sehr wenig, auch wenn die Company in extrem frühen Stadium ist. Was macht das Ganze spannend? Und das ist halt, wenn sie treffen bei diesen Bohrungen, dann geht die Aktie durch die Decke. Wir kennen vergleichbare Kupferaktien, wenn die ein Discovery-Hole haben, dann geht die Aktie durch die Decke. Und das ist halt der Reiz von diesem Investment. Wann bohren Sie frühestens? Sie bohren frühestens im Herbst oder im Winter, also Ende des Jahres. Das heißt, wir halten die Aktie einfach jetzt einmal auf der Watchlist, mal schauen, welche News kommen raus, wie läuft die IP, wie schaut die Bohrdefinierungsziele und bis dorthin kann natürlich schon eine Bewegung stattfinden, weil wenn die Ergebnisse der IP sehr gut sind, dann kann man durchaus vorstellen, gerade bei so einer engen Aktie, wo kaum Aktien draußen sind, kann sich da halt natürlich sehr viel bewegen, aber auch nach unten, nicht nur nach oben, sondern auch nach unten. Also in beide Richtungen. Also ist ein interessantes, hochspekulatives Investment, das muss man halt einfach mal sehen. Und ich schaue mir es jetzt einmal an, was die nächste Zeit so bringt. Und ja, ich habe mit ihm auch ausgemacht, wenn irgendwelche interessanten Sachen sind, dann soll er sich kurz melden. Und dann können wir ja ein Follow-up-Interview machen. Das war's aus Vancouver im April 2023 von Geologica. I don't know why I have so problems with them. With the name. Geologica Resources und ja, im April 2023. Ja, tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Thank you.